Hey friends, welcome back to more Reddit stories about entitled people, crazy people, and everything in between. And as usual, we got some more Reddit posts to check out today, so be sure to subscribe if you're new here and let's begin. Old guy waltzes into my station and wakes me and my partner up. I work for a private ambulance company in a county with a population of about 215,000. We're majorly understaffed and therefore asked to work a lot of hours. On top of the ridiculous hours, there is still the fact that no matter how the stars align, there will still always be 3 to 4 people calling 911 in the middle of the night, mostly for dumb reasons. So this causes some of us to get little to no sleep for days on end, so any opportunity for sleep is welcomed with open arms around here. Being that we are a private ambulance company, my station in particular is in a business suite, in a row of other suites that do things like AC repairs, cabinet making, etc. So today, me and my partner are trying to get a nap in after being ran into the dirt. I'm talking about 324 hours this month, only for us to get maybe 30 to 45 minutes of shut-eye in the recliners of the front room, only to be woken up by an old man and his wife standing in our front room with the door behind them wide open. Keep in mind I'm already sleep-deprived and have just been ripped out of my sleep by a random old couple in my space. But as I'm waking, the first words out of the old man's mouth are, "I hate to wake you guys up, but I need to know where such and such business is. Which suite is it in?" I reply, "Well, sir, this is my ambulance station, and I have never heard of this business you're looking for, so I'm sorry, but I can't help you." "Well, the guys down the road said it should be here in this lot. Don't you know where it is?" My partner is having none of it and very bluntly interrupts him and tells him he is in the wrong place. The couple are not budging and are just standing there, so I get up off of my recliner and usher them outside to further talk to them, and they just will not take no for an answer. "Guys, I'm sorry, I don't know where this business is, nor have I ever heard of it. Can you leave so we can get back to sleep?" Eventually I'm able to shoo them away, but at that point I was not getting back to sleep. I could almost excuse them walking in if they had thought it was just a regular business suite like an office or something. However, our garage was open with our ambulance in full view. And on top of that, who does that? Who walks into a random building to find what is essentially a living space and wakes up the 2 people in uniforms to ask for directions? I may be missing details here or there, but this occurred this morning. I'm still just so flabbergasted and angry about the sheer damn entitlement and zero self-awareness these old farts displayed. Not letting my best friend have her wedding on my property after being uninvited. I'm a 29-year-old male. One of my best friends, Carla, 31 female, is getting married soon. It's only meant to be a small backyard type of wedding, but they've been planning it for a few months, and originally it was supposed to be on my property. They wanted it because it's private, has a lot of open space for the reception, a nice view, and the house could be used for them to get ready and stuff. Of course I said yes. She and her fiancé, Rick, were very happy. Thing is, Carla and I do have a history. We went out on and off in college, but decided to stay friends. Then I met my wife, we got married, Carla met Rick, and now here they are. Now my wife knows I went out with Carla back in college and she didn't care. Carla still went to our wedding and everything. I never knew if Rick was told or not. It's not my relationship, therefore not my business to say anything, so I never did. Rick found out recently and not in the best way. Not sure how, but what I heard from friends is that one mutual friend told him. No idea why. We used to date. Not only that, but apparently Carla said a couple years ago she was still in love with me when she was already dating Rick. Don't have actual confirmation if that's exactly what he was told. All Carla's told me is that Rick was told about her past, and he's angry at her for never saying anything. It became quite a drama and didn't hear from her for over a month until now. She told me they're going to couples counseling and that the wedding is still on. But Rick requested that I not attend. It sucks, but I totally get why he wouldn't be comfortable. Then I asked the obvious question, where are they going to hold the wedding then? To my surprise, she said they still want it at our place. Rick said so too, and in my mind I'm going, he doesn't want the guy who dated his fiancée years ago at the wedding, but still wants the wedding at his house? My wife and I are expected to just not be at her home that weekend. And I told Carla no. They're going to have to find someplace else, since we're not simply going to leave our home to them for the weekend. Not only for safety reasons, but it just doesn't make sense. Rick doesn't want me around because he's not comfortable, but is comfortable enough to have their wedding at my house? They really want their wedding here though, and because of that, I've been bugged by not only her but also Rick, and some friends who think I'm being a petty a-hole for not letting them have the wedding here anymore. Honestly, don't think that I am. It just doesn't make sense at all to have to leave our own place for a wedding we're no longer welcome to, and leaving our home totally vulnerable. Still, being accused of sabotaging their wedding, and Rick believes it's the least I can do after everything. The least you can do after everything, huh? As if you owe him for daring to date his future wife years ago before they even met. Actually, hold that thought, OP actually posted an update. Some stuff has happened recently, and many of you have wanted an update on this. Appreciate the reassurance and understanding my decision when seems that many in this situation didn't. I remained firm in my decision about not letting them use my property for their wedding, even if they changed their mind about inviting us, which honestly I don't care about anymore. Rick's family, thanks to him, got a hold of my cell, so that was more people I had to deal with. I put my foot down with Rick a few days ago and told him directly that I will go to the police and press charges for harassment. I have all the texts and calls documented. Also had a very long talk with Carla about everything going on. She apologized for it all, and she knows it's her own fault. Well, she decided to be the one to call things off in the end. Some of my friends still seem to think it's my fault, and I'm taking some distance from them for a while. And also from Carla after getting some confirmation on a few things that I needed to know. Whole thing is a mess. I'm only glad in the end that I didn't give in to their demands and the constant bugging has stopped. It was still a huge headache over the last few days and not the kind of drama I want back in my life. Thank you to everyone who made me feel supported in this. It helped a lot not feeling like the only other person aside from my wife, who thought their demand was insane and inappropriate. Yeah, you're right, OP, it is insane and it is inappropriate. It's honestly crazy to me how these people can't even see how ridiculous of a request that is, and how there are seemingly so many people on their side too. Oh yeah, I'm not comfortable with you being at the wedding since you dated my wife years ago before we met, but I'm more than happy to use your property as a wedding venue though, so just go ahead and leave your home for a couple days because I don't want to see your face while we use it. Am I the a-hole for moving in and screwing up the neighborhood by fencing and closing my property? I purchased an estate property. By the time the owners passed, they hadn't lived on site for almost a decade. The property is wooded with lake access from the back of the lot and was overgrown. Because of the woods and the distance between lots, I didn't expect to see my neighbors, but at first I had people stopping by, telling me how great it was I was cleaning up and renovating the property. I work from home, so it was nice to meet the people living nearby. So all fine until the last steps, pouring a concrete pad for my van and finishing the fencing. I hadn't moved in yet, but once the extra driveway and pad were added, I parked my van. When I returned for the final move-in, there was a massive gouge down the length of it, as if someone had squeezed another vehicle by or dragged something else large by it. Anyway, moved myself and my dog in, and because of the dog and the incident with the van, I closed my gates. In doing so, I closed access to the lake through my property. I learned immediately the neighbors have been using my driveway to get to the water for a while, as the old owners were either never here or didn't care. I started getting notes and knocks on the door about the problem I caused. I don't mind the occasional neighborhood kid knocking, but this was non-stop, 3 to 4 groups a day, and they were not always polite. I was asked to move my van and vehicles so people could back boats down the drive. I am now assuming that's how my van got gouged. I explained the dog and reasons for having a fence, but have been met with criticism that I'm changing how things have always worked around here. Last straw was people opening the gate on their own, and then getting upset my dog was loose. I acted by putting up a no trespassing sign, a sign indicating a dog on site, cameras, locks, and an intercom by my door, so when people ring I can tell them I'm working, and not have to come down to the door. Even though the summer is over, I'm still getting notes and voicemails telling me that access to the lake is, quote, grandfathered in, as the previous owners allowed it and it's been going on, quote, forever. These are coming from 2 houses, a woman in her 50s and a couple about the same age, who claim they represent the homeowners association. Although when I purchased, there wasn't a single thing about neighborhood covenants or an actual organized homeowners association. Sometimes the communication takes on a more formal approach. Other times it's informing me how bad of a person I am for, quote, ruining the neighborhood. My attorney assures me this neighbor-proclaimed easement is absolutely not a thing. He's done the legwork. But these are people I'll presumably be living nearby for a long time, and I'd prefer to be cordial. I mean, obviously, you're not an a-hole for deciding to do that, OP. It's your property, your choice. I mean, you hadn't even fully moved in yet when people already caused damage to your vehicle by seemingly trying to haul a boat across your property. And even if they had been doing this for a long time, property owners change, and things change. They're obviously just gonna have to deal with it. At worst, it'll just be slightly less convenient for them. I'm sure there are plenty of public entrances they can use to access the lake. Steal a phone from our store? We'll take your car instead. So this wasn't me, but happened at one of the retail cell phone stores I manage a few hours ago. We put out demo phones for customers to play with. The funny thing about these phones is that they are locked, cannot be used, and have no real value. From time to time, a dumb thief will come in the stores and take one of these phones. Today was one of those times. This particular store is usually slow, so having 1 or 2 employees working at a time is normal. Today, one was at lunch, so only 1 employee was in the store. In walks 2 guys. One is engaging with the employee asking questions, acting like an interested buyer. The second is looking at the demo phones, but in reality is taking it off the security stand. The employee notices the guy has removed the demo phone from the security device and turns to look at him. The thief makes a run towards the door, and unbelievably, the employee tackles the thief. The two roll around, exchanging blows outside the store. It was a completely crazy scene. The good part about all this is that the thief got away with the phone, but in the process of wrestling with the employee, dropped his car keys out of his pocket. The employee picked up the car keys and went inside the store, locked the door, and called the police. To keep a longer story short, the cops came and towed the thief's 2016 Honda Accord. So he got a playphone that is as good as worthless, and lost a good car. Also, the cops were easily able to identify the thief, and put a warrant out for his arrest. Alright guys, that's all for today. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, and also hit that subscribe button so you can be notified when we upload. So have a nice day everyone, and I'll see you next time.